Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our demo day of GEM AI sourcing. We have quite a few people joining us. So hello, let us know in the chat where you're tuning in from. We'd love to know. And let's go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of housekeeping. So today's webinar is going to be recorded. Don't worry, you guys will have a link to an on-demand recording of this after the session. Now, if you have any questions at all, feel free to use the Q&A section that you see on the top right-hand corner there to add in any thoughts. And if anyone beats you to it, has the same question, there's a cool, neat feature called Upvote. Feel free to use that to let us know what's top of mind. And we'll have a section at the end of this demo to answer questions live. Now, I'll preface this with the team has a lot of content to cover today. So in the case that we don't get to every single question, we'll definitely make a note of it and to follow up. Last but not least, I like to say that all of these sessions are so much more fun when you guys let us know what you think. So there's a separate section up there called chat. Thank you, everyone who's tuning in across the US and already participating. Let us know what you think when we go through the product live or as we're going through this content. All the feedback is definitely welcome. So let's go ahead and get some intros. I am Vanlisa Chow on the product marketing team at GEM, and I will be your host today. I'm also joined by Lacey Kim, our resident product expert, who will be leading today's demo. Now, Lacey has awesome content prepared today, so I promise I will not steal her thunder, although I would love to spend just a couple of minutes talking a little bit more about our recent launch of AI sourcing and some special things to keep in mind as we see the product in action. Now with that, I know a lot of folks here are new, so would love to provide a quick overview of GEM. We are an AI-powered recruiting platform that over 1,000 TA organizations choose to simplify and accelerate their recruiting process, maximize their productivity, and get all the data that they need at every step of the way. So in terms of how we do that, as you can see on the right-hand side here, we have a broad set of solutions that continues to grow from a powerful CRM to analytics, to sourcing, to scheduling, and so much more. And all of these solutions are built to work better together and with your ATS of choice. Now, our long-term customers, I see some of y'all here today, know that this transformation didn't happen overnight. We've been on a very long, thoughtful journey to build our platform in a way that continues to optimize for the value that you see here. And a huge part of that recently has been our AI-powered vision. Now, this is something that we announced earlier this year and are incredibly excited about. And it really boils down to helping recruiting teams source, rank, and rediscover the best talent faster, especially in this competitive market. We've done so by building a suite of AI solutions that's really built into the platform that recruiters use today. And we're really excited to show you our first product in that suite very soon. But for those of you that are, drowning in inbound, or if that resonates with you, don't fear. Our second product is coming very soon. That's AI inbound ranking, coming in October for all customers. So if you're interested, customers joining us today, definitely reach out to your customer success manager, and or just hang on tight for additional updates. So with that, we are talking about AI sourcing, but wanted to kind of overview and zoom out into sort of the pillars that we've used to really design our AI solutions. You're going to see a lot of that today with AI sourcing, but definitely keep these in mind with the future AI solutions that are coming out in the next couple of months. First and foremost, as I mentioned before, our vision has really been rooted around infusing AI into a platform that recruiters use across their recruiting process. In doing so, there's a wide variety of benefits that come out of this, not just helping recruiters reduce the amount of tools that they're using, but also, feeding this AI with all the rich context across their process. Things like, did you evaluate a candidate already and may have rejected them last month? Or did your team already sequence a candidate just a couple days ago? All of this is taken into account by Gem AI in order to make the best recommendations so that your team, is reaching out to only the most relevant talent. Last but not least, number 2 and 3 are really just branches off of this pillar, right? So being able to equip the recruiting team with a set of solutions that they use every day to seamlessly reach out to top matches and also have all the context at their fingertips. Like I mentioned before, not just who have you recently sequenced, who have you recently evaluated, who's in your process, but even things to who's in your talent community. All these things are surfaced easily with every single profile that AI sourcing sources. Last but not least, number 4 is a really big one, especially for teams out there that have already evaluated AI solutions and are struggling with algorithms that just don't make sense. Um, our AI solutions, especially AI sourcing, is really built with transparency in mind. And you'll see in just a bit sort of how we surface all of our logic rationale to let you know exactly why our AI is surfacing certain candidates and giving recruiters full control to fine tune as needed. So with that, um, if you are here to take a look at AI sourcing just behind the hood, you are in the right place. I know that you've heard enough from the product marketer today, so I'll go ahead and pass things over to Lacey to show you AI sourcing in action. Lacey, over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Lisa. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Lacey, and I'm one of the product managers here at Gem. Really excited to show off AI sourcing to this group, which is one of our AI-powered products here at Gem. And huge thanks to any of our customers in this room that have contributed to building this product over the last few months. That's the favorite part of my job, partnering with all of you. So really excited to show you what we've got. So let me get our screen share going. All right. Very cool. All right. So this is overall our Gem platform, but we're going to be focusing on just our AI sourcing product today. So what you'll notice here is right on the left side on the menu, there's a menu option for AI sourcing. And then you have the capability to create a new search as well as sort of monitor some of the existing searches that are going for your team. So how I'm going to go through the demo is first, I'm going to show you how we set up a search and some of the great functionality that we have here to help you target the right talent for who you're looking for. And then I'll switch over to show you some profiles that have already been returned and how you might go through actioning on those profiles within the Gem platform. So let's go ahead and create a new search. So when you create a new search, it's really a 3-step process. So the first step is really simple. It's basically just giving it a name. And then we'll go through a couple additional steps to finish that out. So let's say we're going ahead and sourcing for a product design job. So this is actually a role that's actively open. So this is integrated to your ATS. So we're pulling in that exact rec number as well as the associated JD. So you can go ahead and see that pulling up. You can also go ahead and select the default project. Simply what this does is as you go through and review prospects that have been returned and you mark yes and thumbs up on those folks, they'll be saved to this default project within Gem. Concept of a project is something that's very crucial within our product. It's a good holder. So I'm just going to set like a sample project here. You can see we automatically named your search for this purpose. Let's go ahead and go next. So this step is called define the talent pool. So what our product does is we first want to go ahead and say, okay, what's like the overall pool that we want to define for this product designer role? So because there's going to be some hard requirements that we need. So for example, this role is going to be based in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I'll kind of go ahead and go through a few filters for this section. So I imagine a lot of this is pretty familiar to the customers here, and we wanted this to be really easy for folks to get up and running. So that's part of the familiarity that we built into the product. So let's say we can, for our job titles, you could put in something like product designer. This is a contains match. So if we go ahead and put that in, it'll pull up anyone that's like a senior product designer, principal product designer, interaction product designer, all of those titles. So there's definitely some refinement you can do. You can also exclude specific job titles if you'd like. Going into the location filter, again, something pretty familiar to this group, I imagine, but we can put in something like San Francisco Bay Area. There's definitely some configuration you can do here. You can select down to metro, state, or country, or city. You can also exclude certain parts of the location. I know that's as teams are returning to office, you might want to exclude certain locations. During the search, spoken languages, if that's relevant. You can also mark their years of experience. So you can go ahead and say, I only want to target folks that have been at their current company for at least 6 months, or you can go ahead and specify at least overall years of experience, more than 5 years. So something like that, you can go ahead and specify that. Something I just wanted to also bring attention to the group is there's a talent pool size that's coming up here to the right. So this gives you a sense of similar to how you might have used in other tools, how the pool size might increase or change depending on how you're providing these filters in. So something to consider. One thing I want to note is for our AI sourcing product, we only surface candidates that we have a verified personal email address. So that's we want to make sure you have prospects that you can reach out to immediately after. Let's see, going into the companies filter. So I found in working with customers that looking for talent that has certain work experience that's similar company characteristics is something very, very common. So I'll kind of show you a couple areas of this filter. So you can do really targeted searches. So if you have a bullseye company list or you have targeted companies that you want to source from, you can definitely list them here. And then we also have this section where if you're looking for, I want to look for talent that has worked for kind of smaller companies or industries specific to manufacturing or software development and just in fintech, you can sort of put in those criteria in this section, but this is an area that we're definitely investing a lot into right now. I'll highlight a couple things. Really easy to get up and running. You can select presets. You can go ahead and target, use some of our default presets. You can use your teams presets. If you've set up something customized, you can go ahead and put that in. So you can see what we've done here is it went ahead and selected some large tech companies. So you can also see the talent pool size be reduced because now we're targeting a very specific list of companies. Some other fun aspects, you can go ahead and hit generate similar companies. And what this will do is just help you open up the talent pool a little bit more. And basically our AI will infer, okay, you have a list of companies that you've selected. Let me look at the characteristics of those and generate a few similar companies to that. So that's something fun you can play with. You can also ask AI directly in the filter. So you can ask a question like, I'm looking for fintech companies for the ones that I'm targeting. So you can also go ahead and put a value like this, and then the AI will basically go ahead and generate a list for you to the best of its abilities. So you can go ahead and do that. You can see it's a very targeted search and it starts to reduce the talent pool size. And yeah, just want to mention industries. You can go ahead and type any of that in here and it'll pull up what are some of those industries that you might be interested in for the talent, as well as specialties and company size. So something that we can definitely play around with, and you can exclude companies as well. Something that's coming in the next few weeks is the ability to pull in and segment by funding round. So if you're specifically looking for tech or startup talent, you want to look at talent that has worked in early stage or has taken a company public. Those are some of the parameters that we'll be adding in very soon. You can also specify education. Something that we've seen customers really enjoy is being able to target diverse talent by sourcing in specific schools. So something to consider. We also have a Boolean keywords if you want to do a very, very targeted search here as well. And one last piece is this product sits on top of our robust CRM and integrated ATS. So we're starting to make sure that you're also able to filter out, hey, I don't really want this bot to go ahead and grab people that I spoke to in the past 2 months. That would be a little bit embarrassing. So some of those you can definitely change that during the filter setup. All that to say, this is the first filter setup flow, and I went through it kind of line by line. But if you want to try going ahead and creating all of these filters with our Gem AI feature right here, you can actually hit import job posts. It pulls that directly from your ATS. And what it'll do is it'll go ahead and auto-populate those filters for you. So you can see it actually auto-populates some potential designer-related roles and job titles as well. So that's the first step, or I guess the second step for defining the talent pool. So now what we've got is about 5,000 product designers that we might want to consider for this sourcing exercise. And then what we want to do in the next step, this is where we, for scoring criteria, this is where we will ask the AI to go ahead and take a look at the profiles and essentially score the talent pool of about 5,000 people to see who should be bubbled to the very top of the list. So this is where you might take inspiration from the JD. Very typically what I see with customers is this is where, you know, those conversations you have with the hiring manager comes into play because they might not always put the specific criteria in the public facing JD. So for example, for this product designer role, I know that the hiring manager cares about these criteria from our calibration session. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. Sorry, this is a funny blank I'm copying. So you can see once you kind of paste that in, it becomes a couple criteria that the AI can go ahead and score candidates against. You can also go ahead and put in a marker for priority. So for example, my hiring manager really cares about related experience working as a product designer in a B2B software company. So essentially what it does for our product, when you put a star here, it gives them more weight, about 3 times more weight for this particular criteria than some of the other criteria in here. Something I also wanted to bring attention to is we've started adding some presets in here for what customers tend to be really interested in. So maybe you're interested in folks that have, you know, fast promoted during some of their roles, or they're not typically a job hopper. So we are going to be populating this pretty quickly. And this is where we might be putting in some of those company parameters as well, like, you know, early stage talent or large tech talent and some of those functionalities. And yeah, so that's the last step. And then we go ahead and hit next. And this is just a summary flow where it gives you a sense of, hey, this is a product designer search and some of the filters and scoring criteria you've input. And then you can go ahead and hit this button, activate search. And then within minutes, our bot will go ahead and grab you profiles for you to review. And that's the setup. I'm actually going to close this one out and then show you one that's already populated so that you can see there's no even a few minutes for you to have to wait during our live webinar. So I'm going to open up this actually product manager search that we've been running. So if you look here, I'm actually going to orient this our customers here on what we're looking at. So you'll see on the left side, this is a list view of basically potential profiles for product managers that the bot has grabbed. And then in the middle section, we're showing the particular candidates' information, their LinkedIn handle, their personal email, as well as when their information was recently grabbed, their current title and location. We also have this little AI review panel that essentially shows exactly and transparently how the AI has scored a profile. So for this PM search, we put in 6 years of experience in product management, as well as enterprise software experience. So this is how the AI has scored across these scoring criteria. And what we do is make sure the higher match folks show up at the top of the list and the lower on the list. And again, continuing sort of in the middle section, you see their work experience and education that we grab on their profile. And of course, on the right, for our current GEM customers, this is something that's very familiar to you, our sidebar, where you can really action quickly by adding them to different projects or even sending them a sequence right away or a one-off message. So we make it really easy to action on candidates. What you also see here to the right is the ability to mark candidates yes, no as maybe. And right now, this is something that we're iterating on. When you mark a candidate yes, no, or maybe, it simply just puts them into these filtered groups. So you can see if you go ahead and mark this candidate as yes, they'll be moved into the yes bucket. And then if you mark other candidates as no, you will be able to see them in the other buckets. I also wanted to show something that we're really iterating on right now, because this kind of calibration process based on profiles that they might not be like the best fit. We are building into the functionality right now. So it's called feedback mode, and this just released this week. So what we do is we give you the ability to give feedback when you're actioning on candidates. So you can go ahead and say no, and we basically populate some of the potential no reasons that might be relevant. So is it based on this person's recent company fit, or their title, or their location? So, perhaps this person is not a good fit because they currently work for a large company, and maybe there's not going to be a good fit based on their experience. So you can go ahead and hit that information. And right now we don't train any models. There's no training involved. All we're doing is we're saving that information. And what we will do very soon is we'll surface all of that feedback to the user and say, hey, it seems like you've been saying no a lot based on the company fit. Would you like to adjust your search related to the company filter? So that's some of the neat aspects that we're adding to the review flow right now. Something I also wanted to highlight is, because this product is sitting on top of our GEM CRM, which is integrated to our ATS, we have really rich information. So for example, for this candidate, you can actually see very clearly, this is someone that we contacted 2 years ago, and you know exactly who contacted them and in what context, what sequences they might be part of, what projects they might be part of, other information that we have on them. And then another example that we might have is also anyone, if we have their ATS information. So if we know someone that has been advanced or rejected through certain application stages from past applications, we make that information very obvious. And you can also click into the applications tab and see what they applied to in the past, as well as detailed scorecards. So that's pretty much it for what we have covered in our AI sourcing product. I will stop sharing, but I'm really excited to continue chatting and see what kind of questions our customers have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lacey. That was a really comprehensive demo. And I thought you shared a lot of really great examples. It's super cool too, because our product has gone through a lot of innovation. So this group is getting a really early sneak peek into sort of the latest and greatest in the product. Just want to thank everyone for throwing in a ton of questions into the chat. We're working through them. Lacey, what I'll go ahead and do is go ahead and share my slide real quickly.
Sure.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect. Lacey, we got a ton of really great questions. Starting with, let me go ahead and,
I'm seeing some of the questions now. I'll answer
Great.
a couple to begin with, and then see if we can get to most of them. So Savannah asked about, hey, a lot of hiring managers care about tenure. So I think customers reacting those preset criteria. So currently that tenure about being not a job hopper, right now it's a default preset with default values. I believe what we have is, they've at least had over a year of tenure in the past 3 recent companies. You could totally imagine what not being a job hopper could mean something different for each team. So we definitely imagine making that customizable for teams in the future. But this is something that comes up very often. But I also am empathetic to the current kind of job market and how candidates have been moving around. So it's definitely something that we can change for customers in the future. I also see notes around, can we filter to companies that are pre-IPO private? Absolutely. That is something that's coming very soon. So we'll be able to segment down to which series, fundraise that a candidate has worked at that point in time. So if you're looking for talent that has, scaled companies or worked at an early stage, you'll be able to look at and target that very, very quickly. Let's see. There's a question here. I think we answered the not a job hopper question. The Boolean basic operators, it'll include, yes, like the quotation marks and, but perhaps not the wildcard. That's like something, that's a detail that we have in the Help Center, GEM Help Center. So we can definitely share that after the session. And Citi had a question about, is a database of candidates that's searching through unique to you? No, so basically what we're searching for is more than a 650 plus million profiles that we have through partnerships with some of our data partners. So these very much would be net new prospects that you'll be going out and sourcing. And the benefit of this is like we will also enrich that information alongside any folks that you have past touch points with in CRM as well as ATS. Feel free to jump in on anything then, Lisa. I'm just sort of scanning through.
Yeah, sounds good. I see a couple of, we're flying through the questions, so keep them coming, folks. I see a couple of questions from the audience about AI inbound ranking and if this technology can be used to evaluate or rank inbound applications. Just want to say that what we saw today is our AI outbound sourcing product that's designed to source passive candidates for you, but AI inbound ranking is a product that is with early customers today and coming out shortly in October. So stay tuned for that, folks. We'll have more updates and also a personalized demo that you can see very soon.
Yeah, and I think our customers just saw that part where you actually see the AI showing very transparently what the percentage score based on the criteria that the recruiters input in. That aspect is very, very similar to what you would see in the ranking product. That's effectively what you would see on top of your applications. And I know our customers already love our inbound application review product that integrates with your ATS. So it has been a really, really nice premium functionality that we're going to be adding on top of that. Let's see. Yeah, just clarifying again for Debbie and a couple of other folks that have chimed in the chat. So this bot is going out and basically searching, you can imagine like the World Wide Web of new candidate profiles. So it's doing that as well as being able to find information within your CRM and integrate it with your ATS. So definitely not just limited to who's in your CRM today within GEM. Javier asked the interesting question for, is there a way to predict if the candidate is likely to make a move? I can totally imagine us adding something like that in our preset criteria based on certain markers. So stay tuned and keep the feature requests coming. Just wanting to make sure these are moving quickly. So.
Awesome. Lacey, we have a question from Lauren Young about if GEM AI sourcing can be used independently without an ATS system attached.
Yes, you can. I believe our AI sourcing product, and then Lisa, you can keep me honest. I believe we still need to purchase our sourcing license in order to use the platform, but that does not require that you have to have an ATS.
Absolutely, correct. Mm-hmm. All right. We got a couple of questions in the Q&A portal as well. Thank you, folks, about presets. Lacey, I know that you had demoed some of that earlier, and folks were just wondering if they can customize their own presets, save this for their team, and I believe the answer was yes.
Yes, actually, that's a really, really great idea. We might have to ship that quicker. So Yeah, because we definitely see as our recruiters are using the product, there tend to be folks that are power users and testing to make sure, hey, like I kind of sort of got a specific criteria that fits and scores really well. So being able to save that as a criteria for more of the team would be really helpful. So thanks for the feedback.
Awesome.
These are great questions.
Really great questions. And just looking
Yeah.
through. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
Javier
Lacey.
had a question. Javier has all the good suggestions for preset criteria. I know our customers really want that one. So yes, because we're going to be including specific funding round information. So we'll be also able to search, hey, like if you're interested in talent that have worked at kind of Greylock invested startups and tech talent related to that, that's a parameter that we'll be bringing into the platform. That makes sense?
Yep.
Can I integrate for applicants I receive from places like Indeed or Zip? That might depend on your workflow here, but if those folks exist in the GEM product, GEM CRM today, then our product should be able to search and gain information on them. Yes, if they were in the CRM product and our sourcing search determines that they are a good fit for the parameters that you put in, then they'll be showing up targeted by the sourcing bot. Yeah, I think just to answer Evan's question head on about what the data source is, we are definitely working with data vendors to make sure these public profiles are sustainably and compliantly provided for us. So I would say we work with multiple vendors to provide that information. So definitely would love to connect you with someone on our go-to-market team to see if the value on making your decisions on what to use for your current talent stack will be a good fit. But it's definitely a use case that resonates with our current customers, as you can imagine. And multiple inbound messages and personalize the message using AI. Just looking at Javier's question, is there a way to send multiple inbound messages and personalize the message using AI? So being able to send multiple basically drip campaigns, what we call gem sequences, being able to set up first stage, second stage, third stage, etc., is a core part of the gem platform. So absolutely you can do that. And we can currently personalize that information based on what we know about the candidate. So that's not something that I demoed today, but you could imagine once you find a good candidate, the next step is sending them a message and converting them into the hiring funnel. So that's definitely part of the product. And yes, GEM we can currently support. What's the question just moved here? Yes, I think for Citi, some of the pricing information would be dependent on your kind of company size. So that's something we can follow up with our go-to-market team. Sorry, looking at the chat here. Oh, I don't know who asked this question. There's someone that asked, then Lisa, if you can find that in the chat, but how easy is it to apply these rankings to a candidate that's been externally sourced? Like if I bring over a profile from LinkedIn, am I able to use a tech to help me basically QA my potential candidate? You know how it is when sometimes you see a profile, but you're just not positive on if they actually are a good fit. So we cannot do that today. So I imagine the workflow person is asking is, I just want to basically like run a validation role on up like what this AI is doing on top of any profile that I'm curious about. That's not how the tool is designed to be used today, but that's very creative. Totally get it. And I'm hoping that this sourcing experience in itself should be able to already identify those candidates for you. So yeah, I hope I answered the question.
There's a really interesting question here from Joe that I'm not sure if we answered yet, but maybe just something on top of mind for us as we look at our roadmap, Lacey, is Joe asked, can you set a candidate match range? For example, setting results at 75% plus match candidates to show only.
That's actually a really good request. And Joe, good to see you in our webinar. I know we were just going back and forth over email. I just noticed the name. So good to see you. And yeah, that definitely makes sense. As you're calibrating the bot, and you don't, but I imagine because what we're building right now is we want the criteria to already pulling candidates that are high on that criteria. So I imagine that those percentages to be already quite high for the folks that are sourced by our bot. But yes, if we are still calibrating and the criteria is not written very well and you're only seeing profiles that are sort of like all over the board, then I can definitely see that being a more efficiency, adding efficiency to the workflow.
Awesome. And one quick question that came through the chat by Heather. Thanks, Heather. Can GEM send SMS text? Yes, you absolutely can. It's one of the key channels of our sourcing workflow that our recruiters have access to.
Yeah, there's a couple questions about pricing, but Lisa, how can folks follow up about pricing specifically?
Yes, absolutely. So folks, if you are curious about pricing, as Lacey mentioned, this will definitely be unique to your organization and definitely warrants additional conversation. So our sales team is more than happy to reach out about that. And for customers, our GEM customers, if you are interested in GEM AI sourcing and just curious about how that will fit into your current contract, please do reach out to your customer success manager, and they should be able to provide more information. Awesome.
But Javier and team, this is an add-on to the GEM platform. So the sourcing product will be an add-on and not included in your current contract if you are a current customer. And the AI ranking experience will also be an add-on. So definitely can get you more detail on those.
Correct. Awesome. All right. I'm looking through the questions here, and with just a minute left, folks, if we didn't get to your question today, we'll make sure to export these questions and follow up appropriately. So wanted to thank y'all for sticking with us through all the great content that we shared today and for all the engagement that we saw. Keep the feedback coming. Whether you're a customer or new to GEM today, feel free to take a look at some of our resources. We have a link to our hot off the press ebook of AI sourcing that you can check out today. And I know there were a ton of questions about pricing, sort of how do I get access to this right now, whether you're a customer or a new GEM customer. Feel free to send any questions to sales@gem.com. We'll also follow up with a recording of this, which you can respond to directly. And with that, Lacey and I are on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with us and send any questions or follow-ups directly our way as well. We're more than happy to be a resource. But thank you, folks, for joining us, and take care. We'll be in touch soon.
Thank you so much, and appreciate all the good ideas. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, team. Bye.
Bye.